A former warehouse in Brussels, Belgium, is the venue for Europe's leading forum on development and international cooperation. Each year, the European Development Days attract over 7,000 participants, from heads of state to development practitioners, Nobel laureates to project managers from over 140 countries. At the heart of the venue lies the stand of the scientific project Nopoor. The researchers engage with interested audiences and prepare for their upcoming brainstorming session.
The Nopoor Consortium is from my experience, a really interesting model for research in poverty alleviation going forward. And it's very policy aware and policy concerned. And as I said, this reflects, I think, the new generation of research that's being produced around international development.
5 round tables, 5 main topics. Nopoor scientists from all corners of the world feed their knowledge into this incubator of new ideas. A life sketcher supports the process with visual components.
The outcome of the research is really, where does the empowerment go? We are not making an empowerment project, but we want to know...
What are successful strategies against poverty from a scientific point of view? The session participants examine what could be creative solutions to shared problems.
Come to the school every day and teach.
Treasuries are filled with economists.
From empowerment to trade, labour market to development programmes. At the end of the session, the researchers summarise their topics and main points of discussion.
Basically, what I was talking about was the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme in India, which is one of the largest programs of employment subsidy in the world, which is an universal subsidy in the sense that anybody can apply in India's rural areas to work for 100 days a year at a minimum, 100 days a year at a minimum wage. But since it's basically only the poor people who really need this work, finally it benefits the poor people.
We discuss also on when we'll start this support program, because in the result we find that without any support program, the finding of our results shows that the impact will be negative in terms of growth and in terms of poverty reduction, for example.
What will these women come up with if they have an empowerment project at the back or in front or wherever they have it? So you cannot decide from the very beginning what the outcome would be of such a project, and that is what I consider wonderful, because it really gives the women the place that they want to have. So the empowerment, an empowered woman, she decides herself of where she goes and what she wants to do. But how to put this project into policy making is not such an easy question.
We discuss about some what research can bring to policymakers. We have discussed quite well on the last point, which is how to improve the relation between research and policy makers in the EU.
I think there was some surprise when I made my initial comments about the fact that even though so many different institutions, organizations, countries, etc. are gathering data on employment issues, this data isn't necessarily comparable. So there's been a tremendous effort going into this area of research in recent years. Certainly the keywords decent work have been well absorbed into the policy making rhetoric, but not necessarily translated into appropriate data sources. How we could get better data, what could be undertaken, what kind of stakeholders could participate or help us with this. I think the EU is a key player in this, because the EU is probably the institution that has made the most progress on this issue, both conceptually and also methodologically and in terms of gathering data.
From data collection to policy advice, global challenges require European action, and this action should ideally be based on scientific evidence, a challenging endeavour.
Nous, en recherche, on dit rien n'est noir, rien n'est blanc, tout est toujours un peu complexe. Il faut, dans cet écheveau de complexité, essayer de tirer des enseignements qui soient utiles pour les politiques.
Presenting and discussing insights and results in this major international forum is yet another step of the Nopoor team towards contributing to shaping the EU's policies for tackling poverty worldwide.
That if we continue with poverty eradication at this pace, we will manage to eradicate extreme poverty by 2030. A dream of humankind is within our reach.
The Nopoor Project. 5 years of research, 4 continents, 1 vision. Get informed. www.nopoor.eu. info@nopoor.eu